Hey guys, this is Xavier bringing you back with a really intriguing Star Wars theory. Now, a lot of people have been speculating that Emperor Snook is either a clone of Anakin Skywalker, Darth Insidious, who a lot of people believe survived the events of Episode 4, or an entirely new character altogether. Now, before I actually go into this theory, please remember that what I'm saying is exactly what it is, a theory, so don't take anything that I say with heart, okay? So without further ado, let's get it started. So, today's theory is strictly about Rey, who is the female protagonist of Star Wars Episode 7, The Force Awakens. Now, we've seen how well Rey holds her own with her metal bow staff, and we later saw at the middle of the film and the ending of the film how she goes on about being a Jedi in training and how she's potentially training under Luke Skywalker. Now, I'm actually going to butt heads on the first original theory for Rey, which a lot of people said that she was the granddaughter of Obi-Wan Kenobi, given the fact that the action sequence between her and Kylo Ren was similar to the events of Anakin Skywalker versus Obi-Wan Kenobi at the end of episode 3. So, before I actually speak on that, I'm actually going to clarify that George Lucas actually stated most recently, which was I think March of this year, that Rey is indeed fact not Obi-Wan Kenobi's granddaughter. So, with that theory being out of the way, here's mine. Now, my theory is that I believe that Rey is Emperor Palpatine's Darth Insidious's granddaughter. Now, the reason I'm speaking on that is particularly because there is very little information that we have on Rey's family, which she briefly discussed with Finn during the first half hour and hour of the film. Now, although there really wasn't much discussion about who her family is or why they left her where she was, is specifically this. I believe that she is in fact the granddaughter of Palpatine for the simple fact that the way that she counteracts the dark side at the very near end of the film opens a wide variety of theories. And for the simple fact that she was able to not only beat back the darkness, she was capable of wielding a lightsaber and using it easily, and the fact that she was not only able to beat the darkness and defeat Kylo Ren after he mortally wounded Finn, appeared to mortally wound Finn. It actually drove her to conjure up the true amount of power that she actually has deep inside her. Now, I really am not speaking on the point of where she's born a Jedi, but there is a possibility that she is in fact of Palpatine's, extended family, who in fact could be Jedis. Now, good at it like this. Palpatine was the main protagonist for the first half of Star Wars before Episode 7. So the way I see it is this. Palpatine not only was considered the Darth and the Emperor of the First Order, but proved to be a true antagonist of pure evil. And given the fact that Rey had her own dark theories, her own dark thought patterns, this would only later clarify who she really is. Now, to think about it, if you want to really look at it, Rey's true persona probably will be explored in Episode 8 next year. So I'm not going to really speak too much on that. I really will just wait to see how, the events of Rogue One goes through, and partially what'll happen in Episode 8 and Episode 9, respectively. But the way I see it is this. Say, for example, Rey gives in to the dark side for an extended period of time and follows the same origin line. I'm not saying origin story, origin line, meaning she follows around the same path as Kylo Ren, meaning that while Kylo Ren trained under his uncle, Luke Skywalker, she is also training under Luke Skywalker, but instead of pursuing her career as being a Jedi, she becomes evil, and Kylo Ren follows through and becomes the good guy that his father, Han Solo, really believed he was. Now, this actually is a pretty good thought, because look at it like this. If Rey did join the dark side, and they did reveal her true origin story of who her family is, and if Snoke really is Emperor Palpatine, like a lot of people have been speculating, there's a large line of evidence that will probably be revealed sometime in between episodes 8 and 9. Now, depending on whether or not it goes down like that, I feel like a true Jedi fight between Kylo Ren at his full potential and him going against Rey at her full potential is indeed a most definite way to go for the next Star Wars fight between the two, because if it does come down that she's either Obi-Wan's granddaughter or Palpatine's granddaughter, it'll still be a generation battle that took place nearly 30 years prior to Episode 7. So, again, if there is a connection between Rey, Palpatine, or Obi-Wan, and if it does go deeper than that, then I'm most definitely willing to go for the fact that Rey is probably one of the most... matter of fact, I'm not going to say probably. I'm going to say last year after Star Wars Force Awakens came out, I have no doubt in my mind she was actually probably the most refined female protagonist of any action flick of 2015, because she not only proved that as a female she was capable of holding her own in battle, but as an actress was capable of maintaining her character without, being thrown out of balance or anything like that. And I hope that when they finally do reveal who Rey's family is, I really hope that it leads to a much larger climax for her. Because thinking of it like this, if her family does come to be, and the way I see it is this, I believe Princess Leia has information on Rey's family and doesn't really want to believe it. Or rather, her family was alive during the events of Episode 7, and she does not want to, reveal this information to her until she's fully capable of bearing the responsibility. So if her family is in fact good and alive, then it's a perfect way for her to meet her family, realize that she has more than one reason to fight for other than the freedom of the entire galaxy. But knowing full well that her family's alive, she can continue on as a Jedi, and then the future of Star Wars can continue from there. If they decide to carry her as not only one protagonist for Episodes 7 and 8, but a protagonist through probably the next 5 or 6 Star Wars films, depending if there is another 5 or 6 Star Wars film after Episode 9. So with that being said, I hope you guys enjoyed my theory. And remember, like I said, this is just a theory, so please don't take anything I say into consideration. This is not canon, none of that. So I hope you guys enjoyed. So stick around.